Hey folks, I'm in the shop today. I'm going to modify this mold. It's a football head, but it's got the screw lock in it. I don't use the screw locks anymore because I went to just using ELAZTEC, Z-Man ELAZTEC stuff, which doesn't work with the corkscrews really well. What I want out of it is a 3/8 ounce football head that I can tie hair to, and has a bristle guard in there, and I want it on this hook. I don't even remember what I had these hooks for, but a fairly big gap and fine wire hook I think is going to help my hookup percentage, especially in winter when they pick it up soft. A fine wire hook like that with a big gap I think is going to catch me a few more fish. I have some challenges with the mold. I need to get this is actually the insert, the Teflon insert for this bristle guard, FG30, which I want in there. There's no space for it. I'm actually going to put that in the slot where the screw lock goes, and I'm going to do that work with a variety of Dremel tool attachments. This one's just like a linear grinder. That one's going to probably finish it off. I will start with the wheel, the cutting wheel, to make a nice little slit in there for that insert. I may also shape the head a little bit. I like the flat eye. I like the idea of it, but I want the shape of the taper of the football head to lead up, and I'll see if I can encapsulate that the eye, so it's not necessarily sticking up. I want to do it so it's a little bit protected, which helps me pull it through brush a little bit better. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off because the cavity that's there is for the eyelet is kind of big. And the last modification I want to do to it is to get this wire form, the WB 800. This one, so I jam the ELAZTEC onto the hook shank. It just is a nice soft plastic keeper. So I'll see if I can get that in there. But those are the Dremel attachments. I got this other one too. I end up using that one a good bit. I probably need a new one. That one's pretty chewed up, but it does good work. We'll see. Let's start grinding. Here's one more. That circular one. That one does good work. Let's start grinding up this mold, see what we can come up with. So the first thing we want to do is lay the hook in there. This is the 3/8 cavity, and you can see that this is a 45-degree angle hook. Doesn't quite lay in there right, but I think I can finesse it. Yeah, it's a pretty big eye cavity. You know, it does worry me some that it is as big as it is, that I don't be able to do the tapered up to enclose that. That's probably gonna be the last thing I do. But for now, I do want a collar on this here, so I can tie the hair on, and I'm gonna want this insert. I'll open this up where the screw lock used to be. It's gonna lay right in there. Be able to get my FG 30 bristle guard in there, which dropped it. There's one. Anyhow, and then the last part, this wire form here, that shouldn't be much trouble. Just got to cut a little notch. Let's see. These things are so hard to handle and not drop, but he's going to go somewhere in there after I make a collar to tie the bucktail on. All right, so the shaping I like to do here is on the collar. So that's what it started out as. If I can focus, it's just straight. But I just put this collar in, and you know, with the ball mill, I really just shaped it to just flare out hard. You know, I basically made enough of an increase in volume right through here so the lead's going to pour in nicely, but then this is just a rounded out, and it's on both sides. Should match up pretty good. Area to fill in that lead, so it's a fairly bulbous, round thing that as I'm tying the bucktail and the round rubber and the silicone in there, that it really doesn't go straight back like this. It really kicks out an angle like this and just flares out. That's going to help the rate of fall, how much of a overall profile the hair and the silicone takes up. I really like whatever I'm tying on that collar to really stick out instead of just go straight back on a big profile. So let's move on to, I guess we're going to do, where's my little insert, my Teflon insert. Yeah, we're just going to fill that in right there. I'm going to lay my hook there to make sure that angle is correct. Yeah, it's heading up towards the hook. I'm going to flare these out like a V once they're in there. Let's see, is that enough purchase? I may angle it out a little bit more. Yep, that looks about right. Looks more right if I get the hook in the right spot. There. So with that much done, I'm gonna go ahead and close it and see if we got a decent close on the mold with that in there. We do not. We can see that gap. So I gotta take more out somewhere. Usually when you squeeze this pretty good and open it, you're gonna see which half is more grabby. And looks like I took enough off of that side, and this side, well, it may just have the advantage of gravity, or it's grabbing it, but we're going to take a closer look and take some more out. I believe that the part that wasn't closing isn't this area in here. I want to be just go slow in removing it from there, but I think it's up in here where the rest of this pin lays in there. One thing I don't want is it to be so loose that this slides down, but we will take more out of this area. Let's go ahead and close this up, take another look. It's looking better. It's not totally shut. It's actually okay. I'm going to leave it a little bit snug to make sure that this pin is pinched and it stays where I need it. If it fills in a little bit more lead, that's okay. That's an acceptable gap right there, because I can squeeze it and yep, it's going to hold it good. I'm happy with that. So I'll lay him back in, and then I'm going to want to look at where this is going to be happiest. So it's hard to film and do this at the same time, but yeah. All right, let's just move all that out of the way. I think I don't need this to go. I may not need to make a special notch for that. I may just be happy with it kicking out at the end of this area right here. It's not in position yet, but I'm going to make the hook shank area a little bit bigger to hold both this wire form and the hook shank, but it's not a particularly thick hook shank. It's why I picked this. It's a fine wire hook. So there's probably not a lot of material I'm going to pull out of that, but I'm going to put the wheel on there, and then what am I going to use? I'm going to use this really small ball mill there, and I think I should make a little notch just to give the wire form, give me something to have as a marker for where I want that. I'm not totally sure what I'm doing with that, but basically you create somewhat of a check mark that way or that way. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm going to look at, which way it turns, because it all grabs the plastic the same, but I'm going to look at how that sits in there, and I got to put the camera down to have both hands on it and figure it out. But this ball mill is going to make a little notch probably there. I've decided that I don't want there to be a notch at all. I want the wire form to come down at least that far, if not further, because I look at how thick and I use the Z-Man bat wings, the smaller one. I don't need it to be tucked like way up here or even down there. I think I want it grabbing plastic back there, and then the chunk body's going to be there, and then the claws will be back here somewhere doing their thing. So that actually lays in there. That little turn lays on top of the hook shank better than any other mold that I've used where it's supposed to be like that. So I'm happy with this. I do need to, and I don't think I'm going to use this. I think I may just use the cutting wheel again and just get in there and make a little bit more room. I think the next step is to lay all this in there. I'm not done grinding this thing. But I want to lay everything in there. I got my lead pot getting hot. I'm going to lay it in there and pour one. And then bring the jig head back up here and look at it for symmetry and make those adjustments. I really want to build this on the other side. It laid on there better. But yeah, you look for symmetry and you make adjustments as you need to. And then I'll start thinking about ramping up the lead to taper up to the eyelet and maybe enclose that eyelet a little bit. I've done this before and I'm happy with that, with the result that it creates. Yeah, that lays on there so easy. So when you push the pin in, you want to get it as deep as possible. You want it to push right up against there. If you haven't used these Teflon inserts, you basically get, I don't know, a long section of them. You cut them up to the size you want. There's a little bit of paint on this one, residual, but it's it flakes off pretty easy. All right, poured that. Let's go ahead and see what the first go looks like. I feel like the collar I made maybe isn't as aggressive as it should be. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Trim the sprue. It's not as aggressive. Look at that. That hook keeper, it's in there because it's way in the head, but it's it's barely tucked in there. Incidentally, these are just stainless steel, like toenail cutters. Anyone have toenails that thick? They need that? I guess they exist. Overall, I like it. I want more lead to fill in there, so I'm going to have to come back at this collar area, open that up some. But I like it. I also like that it looks like I'm going to be able to build that up, because I didn't have too much lead fill into that eyelet. So, all right, I'm going to leave this one. I'm definitely going to leave it and powder paint it, and that'll be the first one. But I got some tweaking to do. Let's get the ball mill back into play. Take this cutting wheel off. Get aggressive with that collar. Just need more to it. I may start working on the, hopefully you understand what I mean. So you see how the eyelet is sitting up above the lead? I want the lead to taper up to it. And what that does is it makes it so little bits of debris, like grass or little brush, doesn't get caught in there. It makes it so that this just comes through it a lot quicker. I also think that as you set the hook, if you have something, I'm just going to point with this. If you have something in this area, as the force of the jig comes up, it's going to part their jawline. So yeah, let me ramp that up. Make the collar bigger. Pour another one. Collar area bigger, just more to it. And you know, the pathway down to it, I think I've made it so it should fill nicely. But time to put the cutting wheel, and then I think I may use this little guy. I'm not sure what. Does it have like diamond or something on it? It's just a kind of tapered cylinder. That's going to be good for the ramping up the lead to the eyelet, and so is that cone cutter. It's going to be good, but it starts with this. see how we did. Collar's for sure bigger, more flared out. I think I could go a little more aggressive with the lead tapering up to that, but it accomplished what I wanted it to do. So come on, focus. That's the original, and then that has those little lead ramps. For sure the symmetry is off. Need more on this side. So I'll start by, and again, this is just to keep branches and stuff, and it'll seal up real good when I get some powder paint, but I need more on this side. Yeah, keep that eyelet from capturing little bits of grass, but that collar's good. I mean, that collar is, oh, it's a beast collar. That is gonna flare out that bucktail nice. All right, I've moved indoors where it's warm, and I got all my tying stuff spread out here. Let's take a look. I ended up making quite a few jig heads in a pretty short period of time. These are the 5/8. I got some black ones, some green ones. This is one of the 3/8 ounce ones. I still have to put a bristle guard on that one, but that's what he looks like. I think that'll catch some fish. And let's go ahead and tie a green one. That's what the head ended up looking like. So that's what I was looking for. Tapered up to the eyelet, nice big collar, the Laztec keeper. I'm gonna tie it with this olive bucktail and round rubber, just 2 strips to represent the antenna. I'll break those apart here in a second. And just a portion of the silicone skirt here, just to give it the legs. Got a bunch of black ones here ready. So it's just 3 strands of the silicone and then the round rubber. But we'll go ahead and set this up here, and we'll jump right into, I'm gonna tie this one. So it's nice to have a bunch. I like getting them ready in the off season. So just tying that thread. I think it's size A. Waxed nylon. Just a couple turns there. Go ahead and get my olive bucktail out. You want more brown? It's already brown in the middle. This kind of lighter olive green is where the white is. And I don't get a real big pinch. And I don't tie it, I mean, I tie it sparse, but there's 3 things going on there. Silicone, round rubber, and then this beautiful stuff here. So turn it over, lay it on there. I don't need the full length of it. Get a couple turns. That extra I'm going to cut off. But this is why I designed and shaped that head the way that I did. I'm going to pull this tray down so that my wife doesn't, so she's not mad that I got fur all over the place. All right, so as we tighten down on that, I already did it, already flared out, but that's the idea, that it goes, just spreads out. I'll trim off this extra. I don't do a really neat job trimming. It's intentional. I leave that. See that? Right there. Why do I leave that? Because that's where I rub the scent in. It's a scent reservoir. All right, I use the Liquid Mayhem. I take this and kind of push it around. And the hair is mostly on the bottom. Kind of flares out to the side a little bit. All right. I'll set that down. Like I said, 3, maybe 4, but now I'll actually just do 3. 3 strands. And again, get the round rubber prepared. 2 strands, which will split that once we get it on there. You know, I got a whole video on just doing this part of it, but I thought I'd cap off this video with tying one green one. So I put that on, and I really tighten it so that the football head kind of kicks them out to the side like legs. So I'm looping this around, laying it on there. I really like this tie. It works. It gets bit. So as I pull down on that, I'll spread these out a little bit as I kick to the side. Like that. A lot of people look at that and be like, there's no skirt, there's not enough there. There's plenty. The motion. To me it looks like an animal that is, I'm just laying the round rubber there. Looks like an animal that is blending in very well with its environment. Alright, so I got the extra long length there. I take this and I pull it off. I didn't mean to do that. Doing it and filming it are 2 different things. All right. Let me get a few turns on there so I don't pull it through. But I just pull that down. Stop. Okay, almost done. Couple wraps. Let me get the fly head cement after I'm about done with that. I just broke it. All right, 1/2 inch. 1, 2. Do I want 3? Sure. Just use that applicator, let it soak into your threads. Set that aside. Trim off the bobbin. I'm cutting the end of I'm doing it over the tray. The silicone, which frees all 3 of them. I'll do that here. And then I got a loop. I'm gonna not cut the hair. Yeah. It's ready. Then you got the round rubber, and you just pull on it until they separate into 2. There it is. The round rubber to me is so critical. It just sells it. They just want it. It lifts up above everything else and just, they're always going, just like the crayfish antenna. It's, I don't know, man. Like, without round rubber, jig has half the power to catch fish. Not really, but if it comes, if the round rubber pulls out, I will stop fishing the jig. All right, so a little bit of the Gorilla Glue. I like the gel. Jam that in there. FG30 fiber guard. Yep, that's sat down in there. It's a good looking jig already. That's what's going on them. Green pumpkin pro crawlers. Now, do I want this full length? Maybe. Maybe not. I think if you look at the profile, like this is already correct, but then you're adding this onto it and then it makes it even longer. So I think I want to just do this. Just cut the nub off. That much, about the length of the head. So yeah, which way's top? We're gonna get it centered. This will go well on that new NRX Plus medium heavy spinning rod. So many people saying, why aren't you using a bait caster? I do better with a spinning rod. I just do. This head, this tie, this hook, gonna do what I need it to do. Let me do one more thing. What do I do with that? If you watch the other video, you know. Split them. I don't know that it's really 30. It's called a FG30. They're 15 going each way. I don't know. You think it would have counted them? I think I might have. I don't count them each time. The FG12 is actually not 12. Let's see if I have one around here. I'm sure I do. 12 is an even number. The FG12s, I think it's 3 go in this direction, 3 go in that direction, and I leave one down the middle. So, all right, I'm just splitting that. It just splits it like that, and then I trim it kind of at an angle. I'm not trimming much. I'm trimming over the tray though. Yeah. That looks good. I think it looks good. I think the whole thing looks delicious. And I think it'll look delicious to a big smallmouth or largemouth. What do you think? I want to see it in the water. See those pro craw claws kind of doing their thing, swinging around.